Ladies and gentlemen, we are not live, but we are here in the Roofing on the Rise studios where we bring you innovation and education in today's market. Today and every day, we are sponsored by the Chad T. Wilson Law Firm. When the insurance company denies, or defends their position, reach out to me. I'll get you in contact with the right people over at Chad T. Wilson Law Firm. That telephone number is 210-919-8987. Man, today and every day, we also have an amazing guest and topic. Today will be no different. Today, we have the awesome opportunity to sit down with Kyle VanBoxel. What's going on, brother?
Good morning. How you doing? I appreciate you having me here. Like I said, I'm Kyle VanBoxel, the owner and founder of Boxel Building Supply. Meeting with you today from the Geauga County Fair, so kind of in our booth today. So apologize for a little bit of noise and whatnot coming through here.
Man, that's kind of the rawness, though. That's the grassroots of what you're doing. Really, I mean, you're getting your name out there in every way, shape, form, or fashion, pretty much.
Most definitely. And at VanBoxel Building, everything we do kind of is to cut cost. I'm out here manning the booth, cutting down on labor, doing it myself today. Kind of why we started and how we started off as well.
I freaking love that. Do you sponsor BDR?
Oh, we do. We do. That's a great thing about us. We don't have the corporate rules. We teamed up with him, and really, I don't care what goes out there. He has some great media, and yeah, he is posting us quite a bit.
I freaking love it. For those of you that do not know what BDR stands for, it is Best Damn Roofer. He is one of the most awesome people that you can meet in the roofing industry, and really in just life itself. Like, the dude is just authentic. He owns his truth. He's super, super funny, and he's got an amazing reach. And for that, he's been able to help so many brands, and not just his own, just so many other brands grow. I think it's so awesome to be able to watch that. But I think my favorite thing about BDR is, like, he comes out with, the guitar, and I mean, he's just like, he looks like that rocker. He looks like that. He's doing that thing that maybe not everybody would think somebody would do in public, but then they're like, dude, this is America. That is freaking awesome.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He doesn't follow the corporate model, the media model, as we don't. He's a roofer. Roofers aren't, they don't follow the corporate. They don't follow all the rules, all the regulations. You be real. He's gonna tell what he thinks. If our product was junk, he would let you know. It's not, but he's a great guy to partner with. He's came out to our facility a few times. We see him all the time. Great people you meet in the industry. And Josh, the Best Damn Roofer, he's definitely one of them.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I was super, super stoked to see that that partnership there. So give us a little background about yourself. What brought you into the roofing industry? So, like, why roofing? Like, what brought you here?
I mean, I guess kind of starting way back from the beginning. I grew up kind of, the lower income American way. My mother raised me and my two brothers, three of us. We had limited income. We lived in a trailer park in Chardon, Ohio. I mean, we had the oldest trailer in the place. It had tail lights on it still. It was, she did what she could. Supported us. She helped teach us about hard work. And as we were young, growing up, my mother put herself through college with three kids, working all the time. She ended up getting her degree in respiratory therapy, got a good job. She bought a house when I was about 12 or 13, and just seeing how excited she was, how excited we were to, build her way from herself, just from nothing to out of the trailer park, getting a house. That kind of ingrained the, the hard work between my brothers and I. All three of us are doing great at the moment. And, I attribute that to my mother, just the way she was growing up. And it worked out fantastic for us. Just seeing everything she did, all the sacrifices she had for us. And, we grew up broke. At no point did I realize we were broke growing up. That's how good she was at raising us and showing us. And going forward, that's something I wanted my children to kind of realize and not have everything given to them. Learn about hard work. There's definitely a lot to it. And then, easing into the building supply aspect, we still, when I graduated high school, by no means did we have money. I mean, we were fine. My mother was supporting us as good as she can, which was great. But I couldn't get a loan for college. I couldn't do any of that. We had made just too much for the financial aid. So I got into the Ironworkers Union 3 days after I graduated high school, local 17, Cleveland, Ohio. They gave me a break, got me into the union. I went from washing dishes at a restaurant making whatever, $5-6 an hour to going ironworking, starting off 17, 18 an hour. It was fantastic. So I ended up getting an ironworker, ended up getting my journeyman card. I was the youngest journeyman in the country when I did it. Got through the apprenticeship in 2.5 years, which I had welding certifications, got through, did that. So it was great. I mean, the hard work that my mother put forward kind of resonated. So, just trying to do the best you can. And I mean, ironworking was very, very physical job. I did it full time on the side. I was doing roofing. We'd always try to keep busy. So I would do not a ton of roofs, like 1 or 2 a month, enough for a good side gig. And then, come about 2017, I was working downtown Cleveland. It was a Sunday. We were working all times of overtime. There was a 37-story building we're working on. I'm up on the roof. We're putting up swing stage stanchions. So what those are, the window washer baskets people hang off. We're setting them up. And up over the top of the brackets for them are 1,400 pounds. Typical American way, you get a job that needs 6 people, you send 2 guys up there to do it. So my partner and I were doing it. We're standing up these stanchions, 1,400 pounds. He couldn't hold his side. Unfortunately, he didn't say anything. The piece came down, crushed me, ruptured a few discs in my back, twisted me all up. Being Sunday, the elevators weren't working. The buck hoist wasn't working. So all day I was laying up there, finally got enough to go down the stairs 30-some stories. And that kind of ended my ironworking career. My back pretty well messed up, but to this day, I still pay my union dues because they're the ones that helped me out. They're the ones that got me in. They're the ones that kind of started me in a good paying career. But yeah, kind of, getting hurt in a job opened up my eyes to other atmospheres. I can't do straight physical every day. I like to. I seem to feel like I can, but my body says no. So that's kind of where I got into the building supply a little bit. With the roofing aspect, even in those years, the prices were increasing astronomically. We'd go out, I'd bid a job. At that point, it'd be like $250 a square. And I mean, I wasn't making much. It was a nice little side gig. But the price of material started jumping up so incredibly much. So I figured there has to be another way.
I don't think it's gone down yet. Like Major Box, has continually risen. And if you guys are paying attention and have been really, really watching the show, then about 15 episodes back, I did an episode about roofing's best kept secrets and about how the pricing of the materials continue to go up, where they're sourcing these materials. And so, these are things that are continually being, talked about in the industry. This is super important.
Definitely
the price of materials just continues to go up.
Yeah, it's right now they keep going up and up. And most of it, what they use, everybody uses the COVID excuse. Oh, shipping went up. This and that went up. We get emails from clients all the time. Most of the major supply companies for roofers, there's 3 of them. Most of them had 5 or 6 increases this year alone. At VanBoxel, we've had 5 price decreases in the last couple of years. We have not increased our prices. They're lying to their customers.
You said decrease?
We have had 5 price decreases in our products, and it's going to probably keep coming. We're looking at maybe another decrease next year, just depending on what happens here going up. All these big supply decreases, prices are going down.
Decrease, ladies and gentlemen. This is
There's
not
deflation at VanBoxel.
Deflation at VanBoxel. That is absolutely incredible. So, okay, now you were in ironworking and you were doing roofing on the side, and you're doing it like $250 a square. And you're like, okay, so you keep on doing these jobs, and then like the next job, you notice that the material goes higher, and then the next job, the material is higher. At what point are you just like, you know what? Enough is enough.
It got to the point where you're bidding jobs and your prices are going up. Over the course of a year, we were up almost 50% on material cost when I
Yeah.
was doing it. And at that point, I started looking. I'm like, there's got to be ways to get this down. There's got to be other ways to buy. Why am I stuck with buying from 2 or 3 companies that magically have price increases on the same day? It's just
Yeah.
not right. I mean, they're not out there in the roof. They're just a middleman. Why are they making the vast majority of the money? The people doing the products are not making the money. It's the guys buying it from wherever they are, jacking up the price 100% and selling us. So their CEO could get his fourth Lambo or whatever the heck he's doing. And, it's not right. The people doing the job should be the ones making the most profit on it. They're the ones sweating. They're the ones with the risk. They're the ones that have everything on the line. And kind of where we're at. So what I did is starting to find new ways to buy materials. There's always a way around it. For every problem, there's a solution. You just have to figure out what the solution is. And I mean, at VanBoxel, I feel that we have found the best solution for the building supply.
You said sourcing. So when you started VanBoxel, you found there's huge price problems. You're getting freaking hosed, right? And
Most
so
definitely.
you're like, okay, I need to change this. VanBoxel Supply. Let's do this. When you started VanBoxel, were there any pitfalls? Is there anything that like may have hurt you or helped you?
Oh,
Tell me
most
how the
definitely.
beginning that started. Like, tell me how that felt
So,
inside to start.
so what I did was started off. We were buying semi-loads, truckloads, discontinued, overstock, getting those, and we were selling them out to the public at a huge discount. The other thing we did, we're looking online, like, oh, look, so and so's buying from China. They're getting containers in, doing this and that. So we're like,
Yeah.
we'll try to do that. We'll try to get one in from overseas. So what we did, I went and set up with a so-called manufacturer, which they weren't. Sent over the 30-some thousand dollars for the initial cost. And from there, they kept sending me updates. Your container's on the way, this and that. It'll be there in a week. That last week, they ghosted us. You couldn't find them. You
What?
couldn't do anything. Containers was
What?
non-existent. It was somebody else's container they were tracking. And here to find out, international, there's no recourse. You send the money over there, there's international court, but not for stuff like this. So we lost. I don't quote me on it, but I think it was like $32,000 to $35,000 the first overseas order. After that, I said I'm never buying from a factory we're not at. I'm never buying from a factory we do not have a stake in. That almost put me out of business from the start. It was ridiculous. I mean, from that point, I
God.
learned a lot. It's you make a lot of stupid mistakes like that. I went online, I'm like, oh, this guy's doing it. This guy's doing it. Why can't we do it? And by making that mistake, I mean, we lost a lot of money. From that point, I started going around factories, seeing who we can invest in, who we could be partners with, who I could physically go out and check the factories. And the way the Chinese government was, everybody trying to deal with that, I will not deal with the Chinese again. It's a personal preference. They had zero help for us. I will not.
Yeah.
So we actually found a great factory we partnered with, put equity stake in India, where what they do is we get it all together. We get it weaved, printed there. For example, the synthetic. Some of it we bring back to the United States. We cut and print in the United States when we can. It's not always an option, but we try to do as much U.S. as we can. But with that, it protects our product. It protects our quality. It protects our investment. It protects the end user. So they're getting a
And you said
consistent item, consistent product. Um, so we
you said
definitely
it's in India
learned.
now?
What's that?
You said it's in India?
Yeah, right now our synthetic felt is getting most of it is getting manufactured in India.
So I got a
Oh,
question on when you placed the Chinese order, did you go over to China or did you just make communication from the US to China?
so with my first order, I was kind of naive and ignorant in the fact I did not go over there. They didn't even
Yeah.
offer it to it. Um, but I'd learned you never invest with somewhere you don't go. You don't shake the hands of the people. You don't do that, and you don't have an
Yeah.
actual equity stake in it. Um,
Yeah.
and the thing that I was dumbfounded by is you send that money over, and I don't know. I just
It's just
can't get it
gone.
figured out. Like
It
why
just
people do that.
it's a fugazi. It didn't even freaking exist. Like it was like as soon as it was
It
gone,
was
they were done. Like it was you yeah.
It was done
So
for.
the reason why I asked is I have friends that do business in China and other countries, Indonesia, etc., and that they make a trip out there, because they too have been burned. And they've told me the same things, right? Like you've got to have some sort of stake, you've got to have a face on it, you got to go visit the factory, you got to see what's up. And if they're not willing to do all those things, then they probably aren't legit. Um,
Exactly. That's where I opened
it's
up to
just a
India.
huge
Yeah, going
that's a
out
huge
there, I had so
growing
much
pain.
more respect for the culture too. You learn a lot more, you learn the products, and you get to see what's actually getting made. So on our Facebook page, we have actual videos of the factory in India, going out, checking it out so you can see the process of it. There's a lot more to it. Ideally, getting made in the United States, I would love it. There's not a single felt fully made in the United States. It's just so labor intensive. But
Yeah,
we're working towards it, getting more made in the U.S. that we can. But you definitely have to go out there. We did a 17-hour airplane ride out to India, met up
that's
with them,
fun.
learned a lot. And I mean, we do have an equity stake in the factory we deal with, so we have control of it. We are
Yeah.
truly building or making the material and selling direct to the end user. There's nobody else in the market.
So yeah, I want to jump into that. You said direct. So you ship to a contractor.
That is correct. We will manufacture it. When you get to synthetic felt, we get private label it, and we ship direct to the contractor, direct to the roofer. You skip the distribution, the big letter companies in the middle that are making their 100% profit. Um,
Yeah.
you get it from us, and we have a better product. So right now, a lot of people think, oh, you're as low as 34 a roll. It's got to be Chinese junk. We only sell Miami-Dade certified products. They're
So
great products.
let's talk about that a little bit, because I think that's a big problem right now as well is fraud, right? So
No.
um you've got a material that is certified Miami-Dade, super, super hard to get that certification. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of money, and real recognize real. That's really awesome that you've got this awesome product, but then you've got somebody that comes in and says, "Okay, listen, I can do it for so much cheaper. It's the same thing. Here you go. It's got the stamped numbers of your Miami-Dade certifications." And tell me a little bit about this. Like, what's happening with this?
So there's a huge fraud going on with the roofing industry right now, especially in the synthetic felt. You have a lot of people coming out here saying, "Oh, we have Miami-Dade certifications, we have Florida certifications. Our felt is 100 GSM, which is the grams per square meter, the weight of the felt." And most of them are not. Most of these smaller companies or smaller name felts or people private labeling. So what has been going on with us is we spend a ton of money to get our CCRR number through Intertech. We spend a lot of money to get our Florida cert, a lot of money to get our Miami-Dade certifications. And our products are certified. They're great products, good to go. But we're running into a couple companies a month at this moment, stealing our numbers, printing them on their felt. Um, not to mention any names. First Source in Perrysburg just did last week. They took our number, printed it on their felt. Um, and that's a number we paid for. You track it, it
Bro.
comes back to us. So
Okay, so what happens when they put on some felt that is fake, right?
so
Like
they
that's fraudulent. Like what happens?
there's not a whole lot that'll happen. The only person that's going to hurt is the roofer. They don't really have a police and standard that can go back and get you for it. So, for example, this last company that stole our number, they're getting containers into the United States with our numbers on it. It's a cheap 85 GSM Chinese crap. You put it out, deteriorating over here in like a week and a half, 2 weeks. It's as cheap
What?
as you get. You put
Two
it out in the
weeks?
sun. Yeah, we had a guy that used his product in Florida, and he had to redo it in 2 weeks. And that's 90-day UV is about the minimum you can have. And some of these products, they don't do any UV coating at all. So the sun hits it, especially Texas, Florida, you are
Yeah.
done. And the thing that's going to happen is this product goes bad. You can't go back to this company doing it. They stole the certs, but there's only so much you can do. You could try to get them on fraud, but that is super, super hard. Believe me, we've been trying to do it as well.
Yeah.
So when the product goes bad, it's actually the roofer that has to tear it off, take the cut. If the roofer puts on that product, something happens in a few years, it's 100% on the roofer. As terrible and as wrong as that seems, there's no ramifications really for these companies. All we do is we spend a lot of money on legal, sending out cease and desist letters, threatening, to do legal. But
Yeah.
in actuality, for us to go after one of these companies, it's going to cost us $100,000 in legal fees, and it's
Whoa.
we have to prove a loss to us, which is, I mean, it's hard. It's the roofers that are the ones really getting hurt over these fake numbers and fake certifications. When you look
Well,
online, you look at these couple of companies out there, you can still go and see them. One of these companies is massive. And you just type their Florida certification number up on the Florida site. The one company, it doesn't come up. We have another company that was literally using fake Florida numbers,
oof.
selling them, and they had a ton of felt out there. And we have other companies that are stealing our numbers. So it's a huge, huge, huge issue out there right now. And the roofers are the ones that are going to be getting screwed on it. And they have been. I know offhand about 10 different roofers that had issues with felt, had to tear it off, and it's all their cost. And unfortunately,
Man,
there's not much out there to help the roofer.
got
Um,
some haters out there. That's what it sounds like to me. You got some haters out there.
Most definitely. We had one guy copied our website word for word, put his name on it, our numbers. He just
Come
threw his
on.
logos up trying to do it. And he's
Come
about
on.
3-4 hours from our main location. So, I mean, we're based out of Northeast Ohio. We ship nationally. 95% of our
Wow.
business is outside of Ohio. And this guy
Yeah.
physically came up, checked us out, copied everything, stole everything. So,
Dude.
unfortunately, I mean, he's not selling
So
anything.
so tell me a little bit more. I want to know more, right? I want to know more about VanBoxel. I want to know how I can get your materials. So tell me a little bit more about what you sell. You just sell synthetic felt, or do
No,
you
so we do
sell other things?
synthetic felt is one we control fully. We have the manufacturing in it. We sell direct. We do printing on it. Ice and water shield. We're able to do truckloads of ice and water shield in the mid to high 40s, and that's delivered to you. All of our prices are delivered. So synthetic felt is as low as $34 a roll delivered to your location. We do nails, which we have something really exciting coming up with nails. Actually, this morning I got our first prototypes of them. We have patents on 2 new types of roofing nails. Um,
What?
there hasn't been a new roofing nail really in 100 years. And
That's what
there's
I
a
was
need now
thinking.
to have a better nail. There definitely is.
That's
The
like,
products are getting better. The nails are what's failing on a roof and wind. It's not the shingles. It's not the underlayment. It's the nails. So, I mean,
dude.
I'm not a engineer. I'm not an inventor. But, you know, we see a need for something. And we got patents on it. We saw the prototypes today. And it's something probably the next, I'd say, ideally, I'd like to have it in market in the next month. But the way it goes, legal, patents, all that aspect, we're probably looking about 6 months out. And
Yeah.
we have a major manufacturer that's going to make it mandatory on their products, our nail. So we're hoping 6 months. I
Really?
keep saying that, but I mean, I'm not an attorney. I don't know paperwork. Theoretically, you or I would have it done in a month, but you have all the high paying people you have to do to get it all situated. But that's going to be hopefully revolutionary. The 2 new nails we have, able to use
Yeah.
in a straight coil roofing gun. So no different. And it's supposed to hold right now, the preliminary test. We're looking at the nail holding about 40% better than your traditional ring shank nail. So we're
Wow.
hoping these 2 new things. I mean, not only do we make the products do that, apparently we invent products too to help the roofer. I mean, that's going to be a
Yeah.
big one coming out. We just opened up Grip Edge on it. We have the double-sided peel and stick starter for the fortified system in Florida. There's all types of products we're doing, but we're not a corporate giant. Every product we
Okay.
get in, we try to add a few a year. We stock them. It's a ton of money. It's a ton of warehousing.
Yeah.
And we're not just throwing other people's products on our website. Everything we
So
have, we
basically,
own.
you you've got, you're an accessory building supply, really.
Exactly. We're doing everything except the shingle itself when it comes to roofing.
Yeah.
Reason why those shingle manufacturing, they're so expensive to get that going. And they have so many patents and legals and loopholes and all that. We did discuss a few people about joining up to do it. But at this time in the foreseeable future, we're not going to be doing shingles.
Yeah.
Um, that definitely USA based, but everything else we're able to do. And with almost every brand of shingle, you're able to use our products and still keep warranty, which is
Dude.
great. And I
Dude,
mean, it's a no brainer.
that's
So, I
freaking
mean,
awesome. I'm excited. A new nail, that's different, that is freaking awesome.
it is. I mean, the nail
We
is,
need something.
it's great. I've learned a lot on it. I've wasted money on it too. Same thing. You don't know till you get into it. Um, and it's just even the way we got it. My buddy is just got out of engineer school. I had him do all the drawings on it. It was kind of his first project, my first project. I mean, everybody involved, their first project. So it is taking a little bit longer, but it's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's turning out nice. Of course, we're always going to have a few modifications here or there to fine tune, make it perfect. But we're hoping to have it going pretty soon. And I mean, the thing with VanBoxel too with us is we only sell to the end user. We will not sell to the distribution guys. Reason why, when we started off, there was probably the biggest supply company in the country. We were selling synthetic felt to. We were selling it to them at a great price. We go to their store. They had 110% markup on their felt.
Whoa.
110%. I mean, I don't care
After
what
a year or
overhead you
so.
had. That's the point of gouging. After that, I mean, we're making it our kind of our core mission to help out the roofer, help out the end user, help out the one that's actually doing the work. We were roofers, so it's me and then my brother Andy. He's my vice president. He was he roofed full time for a while. He was the guy that carried the shingles up the ladder.
Yeah.
So he had but we both, him and I, spent a lot of time on our roof. We know the products. We know what's needed out there. We are roofers, and we're here to help the roofers. And that's our core
Yeah.
model. Is I mean, we're about selling volume and not the huge markups. And we are starting to sell a lot of volume, and doing whatever we can to get the price cheaper on the roofer, make it so the roofer has a more competitive advantage, and pull away from these big supply houses that are absolutely gouging you. I mean, they do a lot of their tricks where you look and like, oh, I'm paying 42 a roll for ice and water. Then you look at their felt and they're paying 75 for a lesser quality felt than what we have. And they move around numbers, do that aspect. All of our prices are set.
That
All of our prices are delivered.
you got it. You got it. They move the numbers around. So instead of, and I can say this because I worked in distribution for a year, um, they'll take the money, they'll just take it and move it. They'll take what they wanted over here and they'll move it to here. And if they're not making it here, then they're gonna move to here. And okay, well, yeah, they're not paying that on this, this, and this, but they're not looking at the nails.
Exactly.
And
So, I mean, we had a big company last year. He's probably in the top 5 in Ohio. He was buying from major distributor. He came up. He's like, oh, they're delivering my ice and water for 42 a roll truckload. I'm like, oh, okay. Could I see an invoice? He was paying $78 a case for nails. I'm like, well,
wow.
that's how they're doing it.
Yep. Yeah,
I'll sell you nails for 78 a case, and we'll be at 28 a roll for ice and water. It makes no
ex
sense. We don't do the gimmicks. We don't do the little incentive programs, the rebates. We want to give you the best price right off the bat, and we try
oh,
to take all that
rebate.
corporate overhead junk out of it.
No rebates. I like that. So,
And it,
yeah, I think that the rebate program is a means to confuse and a means to just like shuffle the money around and shuffle and shuffle and shuffle and shuffle and shuffle and shuffle. And you're consistently keeping these people moving. And it's just like, if you would just sell them the material and
yes,
get out of their life, unless you're bringing some sort of immense value to them, like education, which I really, really like education. And so I'll throw out, one of the big manufacturers out there that does a whole lot of does a lot of education, and that's GAF.
oh
And
yes,
that's one of the only ones that I see that is just like consistently investing in that education piece. And I like to see those types of things. But what I would really like to see is I'd like to see a company like GAF to go down on their materials. And I just haven't seen that yet.
that most
Um,
definitely. When you look at Tamco this last year, they've been doing a lot of investing in education. GAF,
yes.
they're the leader in education by far. I agree with you on that. They're both great products too. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, Tamco has a little school they started up, and the great thing with them, their warranty is you could use their shingles, you could use any accessory you want whatsoever. It could be ours, it could be anybody's, and it'll keep the warranty. Because most of these companies, these big manufacturers, they'll give you these warranties. Oh, you want to be a platinum, you have to use 5 different uh, products to keep the platinum, and to go from there, you have to use everything else, and it adds up on that. They'll mark their felt up, they'll mark the drip edge up, they'll mark the ridge vent up, and kind of go from there. And with Tamco, you could use anybody's accessories.
What do you think about the Tesla Cybertruck?
So that we picked that up not too long ago, about 4 or 5 months ago.
Oh,
We got it for the advertising, so we got one of those.
I asked the wrong person.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is so hilarious. Okay, so I've been throwing the Tesla. I've backed off of Tesla for the last 3 or 4 weeks, but I was hammering that Tesla Cybertruck every single morning. I mean, there just seems like there was something going on with it every single day.
There
I
is. There's
personally
Definitely.
I personally think that if you don't wrap it, it looks ridiculous.
I agree with you. We had ours 2 days not wrapped, and it was terrible. It got filthy. We bought it for advertising, which it has been
Yeah.
great for advertising. All of our videos, we have probably at least 50 million views on them. So the
I was gonna
advertising is
say
great.
something. I was gonna say something about that. After we brought this up and that you said that you got it, I remembered the YouTube clips. Uh, did you take it to a drag strip?
So we did a few different. We did truck pulls and a drag strip. We
He's
got
like,
another
so
one
what had
coming out.
happened was
So I was the first one to pull it up at the truck pulls, and there's all these guys, the big diesel trucks, which I like. I mean, they're built to hell, and I pull up in a Cybertruck. It's Full Pull East was the one doing it, and it was a professional event. I'm like, hey, can I pull this? They're like, we'll make a spot for you. Just go on. Whole cloud booing and whatnot when we go up, hooked up to
Yeah,
it. I didn't know how to set it, and we almost got a full pull the first time out without setting it correctly. The
really?
second truck pull we went, a full pull is 300 foot. That one was 36,000 pounds. The second one we did, they had 38,000 pounds in the sled. I had my buddy's girlfriend in the truck. She got a full pull and she won the class in a
Wow.
Cybertruck up against these built diesels. And I mean, we just
Really?
have a standard one. We don't have the Cyber Beast or anything.
Yeah.
We have the cheaper Cybertruck, and the power is ridiculous. 98% of what you see online is fake. I mean, I'm not a huge electric guy, but I don't drive my other truck anymore. It's been great advertising. It's fun. Then the drag strip, we took it up there.
Yeah.
We raced. First race was against a C8 Corvette, a 2024. We beat
Yeah.
it in a 6,300-pound truck.
That's crazy. What was the times like?
That one was running. We got 12.2, which is really good. I used to drag strip a little bit. I had a 5.0 Mustang, the old Fox bodies. I was running
Yeah.
mid to high 13s. I mean, I'm not the best on the strip, but
Yeah.
yeah, so definitely
Dude,
good advertising.
I think that's absolutely insane. I think it's crazy. I mean, listen, we knew these trucks, like we were drawing that shit in 3rd grade,
Yeah.
but listen, we knew this stuff was gonna come out. We just didn't know when. Like everybody's got this on back order. I guess I wasn't ready to see, a bunch of stainless steel grills driving down the road. And here's the thing is like in Houston, you can see like who's who, right?
Yes.
So like when you go into River Oaks, like they have their Tesla Cybertrucks, like rims and wraps and all kinds of stuff. Like they have it really, really personalized. And then, closer to like Huntsville, in the Conroe area, if they've got a type of Cybertruck, it's definitely machine finished. And
Oh,
so
okay.
when you're in the woodlands, you get in the woodlands, you got some with the wraps, really nice rims, all that good stuff. But it's hilarious to just see kind of like all over the place who bought one just because they bought one. And then I'm like, tax season, how many of these are we gonna see laying around on the side of the road, dude?
Yeah. For what it is, we got the third one in Ohio. Ohio's far different market than Texas. There's not many up here. I mean,
Yeah.
we're in Amish country up here. It's farmland. You get the big lifted diesel trucks, with the flags on them, all that stuff. You don't have many of them around. There's a couple of them right now. I'll be honest with you, I didn't think I would like it. I'm into the diesel. I used to have a big lifted diesel. But it's the only vehicle I
You like
drive
it?
anymore. It pulls better,
Really?
it runs good.
Man,
But
I
it's a work truck.
don't. Tell us what you think, ladies and gentlemen, in the comments. Please pipe in about the Tesla Cybertruck. We gotta hear what you think about the Tesla Cybertruck
They are ugly,
because,
I'll give you that. But they are. I keep a chain in the back of the truck
dude,
right now because I get all these guys like, "Oh, you can't pull, you can't do this." So I keep a chain there. We'll hook up to whoever.
that- that's
So it's
freaking hilarious. Dude, so are you married? What's going on? Like you got so much business going on. You got life going crazy. You got the Tesla Cybertruck racing at the strip. Where's your family at in all this?
yeah. So I mean, that's definitely one thing. I'm overly busy. I have 5 or 6 businesses with building supply takes up almost all my time. So I am married. Been with my wife since I was actually 16 years old. We have 2 kids. I got a son that's 7 and a daughter that's 2. So
Big
that
shout
takes up
out
a
to your
lot of
wife.
time. But oh, definitely, they're actually going to be up here in a few minutes. I'll make them say hi if they get here before we're done.
That's
But
freaking
the
awesome.
big thing with business, which I didn't realize, starting off, you get so focused in business. I got kind of
Yeah.
hyper focused on where we're going, where we're being, every minute of every day. I mean, I'm still putting in probably 80 to 100 hours a week. It's ridiculous. Before it was, all day nonstop. And
Yeah.
as much as I hate to say it, I kind of slacked on the family. I slacked on my time, being a father. I just was hyper focused, and I didn't realize what was going on. Um, the person that kind of set me off and talked to me a little bit about that without me asking was actually Dmitry Lipinski. We were meeting
I
with him,
love
just
that.
talking, hanging out. Nothing. It was just a personal conversation. We're talking about business. And we're all done talking about business. He looks at me and he's like, "What about the family? How is it affecting your family?"
Yeah.
And we had a very nice, open conversation about it. And I mean, we talked for maybe 20 minutes, half hour, and it opened up my eyes. And I
Yeah.
didn't realize I was neglecting them as much as they are before when I started, not by choice, but it was business first, then family, then kind of going from there.
Yeah.
But going from there, it was definitely real busy for us. And I kind of learned, the family first. You have to put family first. You have to put them above everything. This last year, I've been doing that. I've been trying to put family first. I'm still too busy, but and that's a
How
huge
does it
change. I
feel?
almost lost it all because of it.
How does that feel? I know I can relate with that. I was on the road for I did this roofing restoration from, coast to coast. Well, not coast to coast. I guess Gulf Coast to East Coast is
Yes.
coast to coast. There you go. And you know, I was consistently on the storm. There were some storms like in Connecticut where I was up there for 4 or 5 months before I ever came home, and when I came home, it was for 24 hours, and that's just a 24-hour period of time in which that, I land,
Mhm.
and then you gotta drive back to the house, eat, go to sleep, whatever, wake up. So really, you're only present for about 5 or 6 hours, and
Yes.
then boom, it's
Mhm.
right back on the road, another 4.5 months, and then you're back. And so I found myself so deep in this abyss of endless working. And so I understand. So where was your heart at whenever after had that conversation with Dimitri and you started to put this into action that you got to be present, you got to show up, you got to be the dad that everybody wants, right? How do you feel now that you're executing that?
It's one of those much more full, much more happy on the aspect. It does definitely get hard on occasion. I do stray. Got to have to pull myself back and focus on what is really important. Um, but I mean, I do get hyper focused. And talking to a lot of guys in business, it seems like it happens to almost everybody at some point, where you get to
Yeah,
kind of the break-in point. Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? Um, and yeah, I said he is the one that definitely opened it up to me. Um, but it's much better when you can actually focus on them, try to focus on them fully, make sure you have time set aside just for family. We do a lot of
yeah,
shows throughout the year too. We're probably 15, 20. I mean, I'm shooting right now from a show, so there's
yeah,
always gone. At least this show's nice. I'm 10 minutes from the house, so this
yeah.
doesn't
I
happen
love
very
that.
often. But
I love that.
yeah, just staying focused and trying to keep in mind what is right and where you have to be. And what I found is trying to create good business partners that help you focus on it as well. What you think?
Yeah,
I mean, like you brought up BDR, the best damn roofer earlier. You see
yeah,
his videos; he's all out there. He doesn't really have the filter, but
yeah,
he focuses on family. I mean, you talk to him; he's about it. That comes first. It's the kids. It's stuff like that. And you have people like that that talk, and they'll kind of bring it up on occasion, and make sure we're set straight. I do the same with them. They do the same with us, and it's kind of like a mutual. So as weird as it
I
sounds, it helps.
I really, really, really like that. I tend to gravitate with organizations that gravitate around family, and the one and the reason why is because I gravitated around the wrong ones for so long, right?
Yes.
And so I learned, you know, I knew what not to do, right? And now I need to do things that are more family oriented, going to church and things like that. What I really like about where I live is that I go to church with like 4 no, wait, like 7 or 8 people in the industry that I know that I have known for almost a decade that I never knew went to church or anything like that,
Mhm.
right? And I go to church and boom, we're shaking hands, we're hugging each other, we're praying for each other. And it's a different dynamic whenever you have that relationship in the industry. They're family man, and they you get to experience life in a different way when
Mhm.
you put your focus in a different direction.
Yeah, it opens up your eyes a lot. And like you said, people you never realize once you start talking about it, there could be some of the people that go, they seem super rough. You don't think they're about family. You get to talking to them. That's all they're about.
That's
Um,
it.
it's there's a lot of people, and I mean, the big thing is just having those allies to help support you, help kind of put you back on track when you're fading off. And I mean, we're males. We fade off track when it comes to business. You get too
Oh
hyper
yeah.
focused on occasion. It's stuff like that. So you do need somebody to kind of step back, put you in your place, and which it happens. And once you realize that, it's much happier. Everything starts to go a little bit better. But it's where you hit that catalyst, something to actually make you realize that and make you focus on what is right and what is important.
Mm. What's the what besides family, what's like your outside time? Like what do you like to do?
So the one thing I like to do, anything else kind of hobby wise, going boating and whatnot, hanging out, just calm. Get out in the lake 4 or 5 miles to where the phone doesn't work and it's not going off constantly. Even this year, I definitely have tried to have more time, but I'm not really getting out. Next year, I got to make more of an effort to make time for ourselves, make time to relax, to kind of decompress a little bit. Um, we went and we bought a new house last year, so it's kind of in the woods. We can't see any neighbors, so it's you get
Ooh,
back and it's very peaceful. You get away from people that way. So my
nice.
wife has a business too. She has a hair salon. We have a couple other businesses, so both of us are always busy. It's
Yeah,
always business related. Um, so trying to make more time for each other. Family's kind of what I'm trying to focus on the most. I mean, today I'm like I said, I'm at the fair, so in about an hour, and my daughter and wife get up here, going to go take her on some rides, hang out with them for a little bit, and kind of go from there. And
that's
family's
freak
going to be the number one focus.
that's freaking awesome. You've got the focus right. Um, you know, you had lost focus. Now you've pulled it in, and you're on that intentional path to be the best person that you can be. I really love that, and I'm glad that we were able to, line up with each other. Oftentimes people get busy and messages get buried, and it's just it's a pleasure to be able to have you on and really understand more about you and the things that make you tick. Van Boxel Supply, would have never happened if you wouldn't have had that injury, you
Oh,
know?
most definitely. Everything happens for a reason. I came to realize that. I mean, after the injury, didn't know what I was going to do. I never thought we'd have a supply company. I mean,
Yeah,
we're a supply company out of necessity. There's a need for this type of business. There's a need for people to save money. There's a need to get through these billion-dollar corporations that have 47 layers of overhead. Um, but it's like one of those. I would have never thought, even after high school, never thought I was going to get into ironworking. Never thought I'd do roofing on the side. And it's kind of where life takes you. We have grown exponentially. We're having a great year this year as well. Just kind of getting the
that's
name
freaking
out there,
awesome.
going from there. And the one thing I'm happy to do, for example, their synthetic felt, we guarantee we will be 10% cheaper than anybody else with a comparable product. That is our guarantee. Nobody has a guarantee like that. But we manufacture,
Yeah.
we sell direct. We're able to do that. And I guarantee right now, nobody will have a better product at a better price. That's the comparable specs because we only sell certified products.
How do we find out? How do we find your product? How do we follow you? Give us all
Gotcha.
that information.
VanBoxelSupply.com is a great website. We just opened it up. We're out constantly adding to it. We have a lot of products on there. Another product is our Facebook page. Check that out. It's Van Boxel Surplus on Facebook. Look us up on there. We have a lot of new products. We have a lot of information on there. Our Facebook page is about the best thing to go on to. Um,
I love
or
that.
just give us a call. I mean, I'll give you the phone number. It's 440-721-1504. And give us a call up there. Any of our guys can help you. It's, we're here to help. We're not one of those guys that are commission based salespeople that are, they're just salespeople. We're not going to sell you a product you don't need. So we try to set up a much different business model.
I freaking love this. Being able to provide education, innovation, inspiration, and motivation all in one packed episode is absolutely awesome. It's an honor to be able to have had you on today. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, if you have any kind of questions, any kind of, hey man, I've got this project. Could you bid it out for me? I need X amount of rolls. I need underlayment. I need nails. Let us know. Please hit up Mr. VanBoxel. VanBoxel Supply. Let's freaking go. Today and every day, we are sponsored by the Chad T. Wilson Law Firm. When the insurance company denies, delays, and defends their position, reach out to me and I'll get you in contact with the right people over at Chad T. Wilson Law Firm. Again, my telephone number is 210-919-8987. Again, 210-919-8987. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that button share. Everybody that is on here, go and like, follow, and share VanBoxel Supply. Again, Kyle, thank you so much for coming and bringing your amazing American story.
Thanks a lot for having us. I greatly appreciate it. And like I said, we're here to help the roofer. Whatever we can do, give us a call. We always have a way to help. Definitely save you some money. Again? It is 440-721-1504. All right. Thank you.
Live, ladies and gentlemen.